The barbell squat is one of the most powerful lifts in the gym. It builds muscle, strength, and toughness. But if you do it wrong, you could be putting your body and even your gains at risk. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through a step-by-step on how to barbell squat the right way, safely, with power, and with proper form. Let's get right into it. So before you start any exercises, of course you wanna do your dynamic warm-ups first. Dynamic warm-ups are very important because it boosts blood flow and circulation, it activates the nervous system, improves mobility and range of motion, and it preps you for any movement that you are going to do on that same day. Once you get those warm-ups done, then you're ready to start. So the first thing we're going to start with is the hand placement on the bar. So this will vary from person to person depending on how your shoulder mobility is. But just to keep things simple, you want to grip the bar a little bit outside of shoulder width apart. The next part is putting the bar on your back. So there are two different types of bar placement. The first one is high bar, where the bar is more mainly on your traps, and the second one is low bar, where it's sitting across your rear delts. Both are okay, it all comes down to preference. I personally like to do low bar, but in this video, I'm going to show you a high bar position. So when going under the bar, you want to make sure that your back is squeezed nice and tight. This is because you want to make a shelf for the bar to be placed on. Any higher, you put more strain on the neck. Any lower, it becomes a low bar squat. Now, one more thing before you start unracking the bar is your feet placement. So once again, this will vary depending on the person. Everyone's body anatomy is different, so one thing might not work for you, but another thing might not work for me as well, right? So the feet placement will be different depending on the person. But to keep things simple, you want to have your feet stance shoulder width apart and your toes slightly pointing out 15 to 30 degrees. So once you guys get those three things down, you're ready to unrack the bar. So when I'm unracking the bar, what I like to do personally is to have my feet side by side to each other. Once that's done, you want to step under the bar, mid-foot directly under it. Now, right before you're about to lift off, you want to take a nice deep breath into your core, just like as if someone's about to punch you in the stomach, and then you're ready to unrack. So the walkout. The walkout is very important because it can either make or break your squat. So a good way to have a better squat and to conserve energy is to take around 2 to 3 steps and then have your positioning ready. Personally, I like to take 2 steps back, and then my third step would be my stance to squat. So at this point, you should be ready to perform your squat. So I mentioned when unracking, you want to take a deep breath into your core as if someone was punching you. So this is the exact same thing you want to do before doing your squat. You want to take a nice deep breath into your core. Honestly, you want to kind of make yourself look fat and engage that core so you can have a better squat, so it's much safer and more powerful. Then while performing the squat, you want to make sure the hips are back and down. You want to make sure the bar path is straight, knees track in line with your toes, and you want to make sure you're hitting depth, so the hip crease below the knees, or honestly as low as your mobility allows you to. Then when you come up, you want to drive up, push to the floor, and exhale at the top. So for me, I take my deep breath before I go down, then I hold it going down, come back up. Once I reach the top, I release my breath. Some other people, they like to go down and then they release it as they come back up or halfway through that second movement. But you don't want to hold your breath to the point where you're going to pass out. So after you go down and come back up, once those knees are locked and you're back up to the starting position, you just perform the squat. So let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid. So what a lot of people do is they have that cue in their mind is to have their chest up while squatting. You don't want to do this because it hyperextends your lower back and it does not keep your spine in a neutral position. So especially if you're going heavier, it will put a lot of stress on that spine and could lead to a possible injury. So instead, what you want to do is you want to make sure your rib cage is stacked on top of your pelvis. So you kind of want to think about doing a mini ab crunch and then keeping that position there before you start your lift. Another mistake that people make is lifting their heels off the ground when squatting. One thing that helped me fix this is thinking about your feet as a tripod. You have your feet, you have the big toe, the small toe, and then your heel. So you want to think about pushing from those 3 points so that your toes don't come up or your heel comes off the floor. Another simple and common mistake that a lot of people make is rushing or bouncing the reps. You don't want to rush the squat. If you rush a squat and you're just going up and down really quick, you can either lose your tightness, miss balance, or just get hurt. So you want to make sure that you're controlling the squat movement from top to bottom. So doing these mistakes can either lead to an injury or poor strength gains. So one side tip you guys can do is just film your squats. So look back at the videos, see if you need to make any adjustments with your form or any tweaks with your technique, or if you're even hitting depth. There you go, guys. How to perform a barbell squat. So of course, if you want to get stronger, add more weight, what you want to do is you want to up the frequency. If you're squatting once a week, do it twice a week. Squat twice a week so you can build that muscle and strength. And if you guys don't know how many sets and reps to do throughout the week, I'm going to quickly put on the screen a small little program you guys can do to build up on your squats. So you can get stronger, build muscle, and of course, hit some crazy PRs. So guys, try this out on your next leg day, and I'm sure in a couple months, you're going to see crazy progress. Hope this helped. Comment, sub, any feedback is appreciated. But until next time, peace.